I won't be arguing with people. I will simply be showing my opinion as a guy who plays these characters and is now very, very high ranked. That's crazy. Doctor Strange is probably one of the best, if not the best Vanguard, you know, because in the end of the day, like, it's all dependent on comp and who you're going against. Hulk, where they're just beating you in the face 24/7, like, he struggles, but all in all, he's got a great ulti, he does good damage, and his shield is massive. Strange also has solo tank potential. Penny doesn't have solo tank potential, so I'm putting Penny in A. She's great now. She's like really good. She does a lot of damage, and she shuts down dive. So her, if they is a heavy dive comp, she immediately goes right up here. Penny can't solo tank, really. Like, trying to solo tank with Penny is rough. I would say Magneto is up in S tier because Magneto's shield is great. He can shield dive. He's got some good damage. He's not as good as Strange. His team up is good with Wanda, but it forces Wanda, and Wanda's good, but she's not like insane. I think that Groot's ahead of him, though. I think Groot is ahead of Magneto in that Groot really shuts down Brawl, and it helps with dive. Groot can wall off people that are diving, just wall them for the rest of the team, or people that are brawling, and you can just win the entire game because of it. So I think Groot is really, really strong. I think Groot, it's as simple as that. His ult's really strong in team wipe ability, very similar to Strange. If there's no shield around, you throw that, put a wall behind him, your team can immediately destroy them, and it stuns them. Really, really good. And this is going to be a hot take, and people are going to disagree with me. The best tank in the world right now is, it has 90 games with Hulk and has lost, what is it? Was it like 2? It's tough, because I think I personally want to put Hulk right here. But into a shield comp like the meta, like Strange and Magneto, Hulk is here because he dominates them. He's got invulnerability. He's got a ton of escape. He's got a ton of HP if you play your ulti right, because you get really low on your first on your Hulk form, and then you insta mega Hulk form. You get all that HP back. You insta mega Hulk form until you're getting low, and then you ulti somebody again and you stun lock them. And all throughout that period, you're just beefing damage and you're a problem. And like then you come out and you have your invulnerability, and like, I just think he's really strong. I mean, I'm going to put him, my tier list, I'm going to put him here, but I know the very best of the best Hulks in the world are up in S. And that is a hot take, and people won't understand that. He's got a huge skill ceiling, exactly. If in understanding, there's so much about him that is so good. I think that Cap is middle of the line A. I think Cap is really good when paired with other dive tanks. Cap is not a solo tank. Cap is a glorified DPS, but he can be so good when paired, like he's got a ton of survivability. He's got a ton of distraction. His utility is in pure distraction. He can dance on the point. He can dance on the point for so long if you're good with Cap. And then right when you're getting low, you pop your ult and you're still a problem. He gets even better with Thor. He moves up in A, maybe even in S with Thor. He gets a lot better. But he needs to be paired with another dive tank like Hulk or like Venom, who I do think is an S tier. I think above Magneto. Venom, ton of survivability. His pure, like, similar to Cap with the distraction and dive is the best out of any tank. He's got a ton of escape, a ton of survivability with his shield. His ult does good damage, especially when you pair, the way you handle Venom is you dive the backline, you click your right click to link to people, you ult to go underground, you eat them so they're stunned, and then the right click goes off, and it can almost one-shot backline completely. He's really, really good. Thor is also really, really strong. I'm going to go ahead and say he's above Magneto. He can solo tank in a rare occurrence that your team is really good at DPS. But once, your team falls off and you get to ranked where you start banning things like Hela and Hawkeye, we'll talk about that. Thor, like, you can't really solo tank with Thor because he just gets too much attention. And he shields with his abilities, but that's not enough to let your team get into the fight. He could potentially do it during the domination game modes, but in anything else, there's no shot. But despite that, he's the best supplementary tank. Also works really well with something like Magneto, who can shield him. Honestly, these two are really good together too. Giving the shield ability and doing this. And he's also really good with Groot. He's one of the best tanks with Groot because Groot walls off. Thor just hammers him into the wall. And then Groot keeps hitting him, so the walls are smacking him while Thor just keeps manhandling him back into the wall with his push and with his slow. One quick one-liner about them. Penny, really good supplementary tank. Not the best solo tank. Incredible against dive. If there's dive, play Penny. Dance on her minefields behind walls. Your team will be insta-W. Your team will insta-W. Cap, really good supplementary tank for dive. Okay? Really distracting. Great at keeping himself alive. Forces the team to keep looking at him. Really annoying for supports. Hulk, the best brawl tank, but the highest skill ceiling. ton of survivability in terms of understanding with jump and shield. People in early ranks think he's ass. They don't understand him. The best tank in the game right now has 2 losses with him and almost 90 wins. He is that good, if you're good. Magneto, great shielding tank. Doesn't have a ton of damage, or he's a good solo tank if need be with Brawl and Die, because he can shield people before they go in. Thor's a great supplementary tank, not a great solo tank, but one of the best supplementary tanks in the game for Brawl. It's definitely Brawl. Venom is the best dive tank in the game. Groot is the best. He's great to dive and Brawl. And honestly, he's just really good into laned maps, pushing maps, because he can just wall off people that overextend. And then the best tank in the game, in my opinion, is Doctor Strange, who's got a shield, he's got strong damage, an AoE, and one of the best game-winning ultis in the game. All right, and I am exhausted. If you like this kind of content, hit that follow button, subscribe, comments, all that stuff is super helpful. Keep it locked right here, and I'll see you in the next one.